Hello guys, good day. I am here to tackle and discuss about this question document examination practical workshop. I am your presenter, Steve Vincent Similia. Let us know first our case scenario in this workshop. So as you can read, Miss Jeneline Cabullo fi- filed a complaint against an authorized claim of her cash assistance from the employer. Allegedly, Grace de Mesa maliciously produced an authorization letter from Ms. Cabullo to claim the said cash assistance. It was later discovered by the compliant when she was denied to claim the same. Ms. Cabullo seek your help as forensic document examiner to determine the veracity of the submitted question authorization letter. You are provided with Exhibit A, alleged question authorization letter, Exhibit B, requested signature specimen of the compliant, and Exhibit C, requested specimen of handwriting and signature of the compliant. These exhibits are submitted to the team for your examination. These are the order of our presentation. Start with the introduction, describe the task, the laboratory, equipment used, present the phases of examination, provide conclusion, and closing. So without further ado, let's begin. So introduction. Again, I am your presenter, question document examiner, Stephen Sensimilia, criminology student, and under the supervision of our professor, Christian Domingo, respectively. So let us first discuss our task given. We are about we are about to determine if the alleged question authorization letter is really disputed, and using the scientific approach of our question document, the ACE method, describe the significant points of similarities and dissimilarities you have observed, and lastly is to describe your evaluation and give your conclusion on this case. So these are the laboratory equipment used in this workshop. Magnifying glass, question document tools, ruler, and marking tools. For documentation and purposes, this is the actual photograph of the examination documents. So let us first discuss the scientific method we are about to use. So this is the ACE method: analysis, comparison, and evaluation. This step will guide us all throughout our workshop. First, we analyze and observe different properties or characteristic and measurements. Then we proceed to comparison of the properties and characteristic of the unknown item versus the known item respectively. And lastly, we will give an evaluation or the correct interpretation of characteristic, and the weight of significance of each characteristic must be considered. With A, B, and C, alleged question authorization letter, requested signatures specimen of the compliant, and the requested specimen of the handwriting and signature of the compliant. So first, we have to analyze Exhibit A to Exhibit C. Notice the difference and the individual characters different from each other. So we compare the word by word. We observe which is ostensibly and suspicious or questionable, which have big difference of the individual characteristic. So you can notice the size and shape, the manner of writing, the loops and pressured area, and we can emphasis to the changing of diacritics and other class writing characteristics. So these are the findings and result of the evaluation. In the left portion of your screen is the collected or requested exemplar, and in the other side is the alleged question exemplar. So Collected specimens showed a presence of characteristic which is different to the question specimen. So list down are the characteristics present in the standard specimen. And the question specimen submitted for the comparison to the standard specimen appeared the presence of the following important characteristic which did not show resemblance to the standard specimen. So first, let's tackle the diacritics. So in the collected exemplar, diacritics, the dots and cross usually downward, the L, T, and Z. While in the question exemplar, diacritics, dots, and cross consistently in place, usually at the middle. The I dot. From the collected exemplar, the I dot shows dashes inclined up to the left, while the dot is constantly simply dots. So the T crossing. In the collected exemplar, the T crossing observed shows constantly inclined to the left, double T touches within each other, while the other exemplar, the T observed shows perfectly horizontal and sometimes inclined to the right. Double T does not touch within each other. The loops from the collected exemplar slightly curved and thin, and from the questioned exemplar, loops are flat on one side and sharply pointed like a needle. The pressure from the collected exemplars shows some parts more shadows and does not have constant pressure, while the other from the questioned exemplar, the pressure is constant in writing and have same amount of shading. The alignment to baseline of the collected exemplar writing pattern changes in different word and in irregularity regards to the baseline, while the other exemplar alignment to the baseline writing is slant upward. So the entry and the exit from the collected exemplar, U's are sharply written, and for the other exemplar, U's are open and in bulbous form. Case in the collected exemplar, the letter in uppercase is constantly as is, while in the other exemplar, case letter in uppercase sometimes reserved as to be in lowercase. The letter size in the collected exemplar is bigger than the other specimen, while the letter size in the questioned exemplar is smaller than the other specimen. So, we are now in the part 2, which is the signature identification. So, same method we are using in part 2. We analyze again using juxtaposition. And afterwards, we can now compare the two specimens. So, in the left portion of your screen is the collected exemplar requested from the real Miss Cabullo, and in the right portion is the alleged questioned exemplar. We compare it by putting a number in different individual characteristics that will help us to determine their dissimilarities. We can determine it by the initial stroke, connection stroke, ascender, the terminal stroke, the descender, alignment to baseline, loops, and size and spacing. So here are the findings and evaluation. The result of evaluation of our collected exemplar from questioned exemplar. So, in the collected exemplar, initial stroke is proportion with the individual letters, while the other exemplar is not proportion with the individual letters or too wide. And in the collected exemplar, connecting stroke between capital and first small letter is continued, while in the other exemplar or the questioned exemplar, connecting stroke between capital and first small letter is retraced. So in the collected exemplar, size and spacing, the spacing between the first letter and the second letter is too narrow, while the other exemplar is the spacing between the first letter and the second letter is so far from each other. The alignment to baseline of the collected exemplar are aligned and in vertical form, while the other exemplar, alignment to baseline is slant upward to the right. The ascender in the collected exemplar continues repeated and pressured, while the sender in the question exemplar is likely slant to right and not continuous. The descender in the collected exemplar is bulbous, while in the other exemplar is narrow. The terminal stroke in collected exemplar is extended and decorative flourish, while in the question exemplar, the terminal stroke is curved in the end. And the loops in the collected exemplar is curved in the oval manner, while in the loops in the question exemplar is curved in a circular manner. So now we are about to discuss the part 3 of our workshop, which is the counterfeiting identification. In the left portion of your screen is the alleged counterfeited bill, and in the right is the standard specimen or the real 1,000 peso bill. Then, we analyze first the alleged counterfeited 1,000 peso bill with this individual characteristic. The embossed prints, serial number, security fiber, the watermark, the ink, see-through mark or the baybayin, security thread, optical variable device, and the concealed value. And now we also analyze the standard 1,000 peso bill. With the same manner, embossed print, serial number, security fibers, security thread, watermark, optically variable ink, see-through mark or the baybayin, optically variable device, and the concealed value. So, we compare the two specimens again using the juxtaposition. And now, here are the results of evaluation. And to the left is the standard 1,000 peso bill, and to the right is the alleged counterfeited bill. And this is the result of evaluation. So, in the standard embossed print, the images is lifelike, while in the alleged counterfeited bill, the image is dead. To the standard, the serial number is present, font increasing in size and thickness, while in the alleged counterfeited bill, the serial number is present also but consistent in size and thickness. Security fiber in the standard is present, while in the alleged counterfeited bill, security fiber is not present. The watermark in the standard is present, while in the alleged counterfeited bill, it is not present. The see-through mark or the baybayin in standard 1,000 peso bill is visible when read against the light, while the other bill, which is the alleged counterfeited bill, it is not visible when read against the light. The security thread changes color in the standard, while in the alleged counterfeited bill, the security thread does not change in color. The concealed value is present in standard, but in the alleged counterfeited bill, the concealed value is not present. The OVI in the standard and the OVD in the standard is present, while in the alleged counterfeited bill, the OVI is present but no reaction to light, and as well as the OVD. So after all the findings and evaluation, we can now give our conclusion from the three parts of our workshop. So in the part 1, or the handwriting identification, with the professional works and studying of the given specimen using the ACE method, the result of identifying the handwriting of the given specimen, the requested and the question, concluded that the question document is forged and authenticity of the exhibit A or the alleged question handwriting therefore is voided. In part 2, in the signature identification by the professional works and studying of the given exemplar, collected and questioned, concluded that the alleged question signature does not match the points of its specific findings and description for the requested or collected specimen. Thus, the authenticity of the given alleged signature is voided. And in the part 3, or in the counterfeiting identification, with the professional works and studying of the given alleged counterfeited 1,000 peso bill, concluded that the said specimen does not match the description and specific findings compared to the real authenticated standard 1,000 peso bill. Therefore, the analysis and comparison result of the given alleged counterfeited 1,000 peso bill is verifiable counterfeited. So, for our closing, let me share to you my experience and learning in this workshop. So, in this workshop, I was managed to perform the laboratory works in analysis of different challenges and in order to find answers and to give accurate, studied findings and results. I was able to perform the task given, use the learning and manifestation of being a question document examiner. The primary learning experience I was derived from this workshop is to give importance in looking for differences between two samples where the writer is known and is unknown in another example. Still can determine the genuine and false documents by not looking for similarities but searches for the differences in the document specimen alleged from the collector. So, hope you enjoy and learn something. Maraming salamat po and God bless you guys.